Oeste International Partners is a volunteer organisation registered in Portugal. We have two main objectives. Firstly, since many of our members are keen to share with others their professional skills and experience as well as their hobbies, we aim to benefit local communities through organised volunteer projects. Secondly, we aim to bring together members of all the international communities in the Oeste region from which our membership is drawn. We're pleased to welcome you to our new project, Let's Cook. This is a light-hearted cookery series with a difference. Each week on Thursday evening at 7 p.m, a different home chef will share with you their love of cooking by showing you how to make typical dishes from their home country. We're going to introduce you to home chefs from several different countries living here in the Oeste region. They'll present dishes typical of Chinese, Dutch, French, Portuguese and Russian cuisine, for example, but we have many more national cuisines to share with you. Every Tuesday, we'll advertise to let you know which cuisine will be presented the following Thursday. If you enjoy watching the Let's Cook presentations, you might consider making a donation to support one or more of our many projects, which include helping the day centres for the elderly and helping the homeless and disadvantaged communities in the Oeste region. Here are our bank details, and the name on the account is Oeste International Community Volunteers, and please put Let's Cook in the reference. If you'd be interested in making today's dishes, then here's the list of the ingredients you'd need, together with the method you should follow. So, sit back and enjoy. And now, let's cook.
Hello, my name is Michael and welcome to this edition of Let's Cook. What I'm going to do to you today is fish. And there's a reason why I'm doing fish, because many people are scared of cooking fish, and there are many different ways of cooking fish and you can avoid the smell. And the way I'm going to do this fish is I'm going to do a traditional method, which is salt baked. This has more resonance for me because over 35 years ago my wife and I came to Portugal on honeymoon, and in every little cafe down the seafront you can always get a baked fish, and it's basically off the menu nowadays. So it's very simple, it's very easy, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So, basic ingredients. Okay, so what I have here is a grouper. This is a brown grouper. It's just about 600 grams, just over half a kilo. For those of you non-metric, it's about 1.5 pounds of fish, good enough for two. In the bowl here, I have some chopped fennel and some chopped lemon mixed with a little bit of salt and pepper. Basically, the idea is to stuff your fish so you get back to the shape of the fish, because when you take out the innards, you obviously get it flat and you want it to cook evenly. So that's the ingredients. And here I've got standard sea salt. This is 24 euro cents a bag, a kilo. And this here is egg whites. Normally for this dish you'd need about 3 eggs, egg whites from 3 eggs. Much easier to just buy egg whites. And that's it. So egg whites. Unfortunately this is not an exact science. So about 2 tablespoons, equivalent of about 3 to 4 egg whites from eggs. You can leave it like it is. I personally prefer to whisk it. I think it gives a better consistency. So I'll give it a quick whisk. And what we're going to do with the salt is we're going to get this into sort of the consistency of wet sand. That's enough. I've got about 1.5 kilos of salt here. If in doubt, put in more salt. Don't worry, you're not going to eat it, and it's not going to make your fish take the I move my bin, that's what I can do. It's not going to make your fish taste salty because it's on the outside. I hope that chef doesn't have everything ready. It looks a huge amount of salt. Please don't worry about it. Okay, then you start mixing it. And remember I said you're looking for wet sort of sand. So the way to check whether you've got this right and it's wet enough is you pick it up in your hand and you give it a squeeze. And if you drop it and if there's salt left on your hand, you need more egg white. So, for example, do that. I need more egg white. Okay. So now you can pour in a little bit more egg white. This is what I mean about it not being an exact science. Now if you want, you can put herbs into the salt if you want, but as I'm going to stuff my fish, I don't bother, but some people do. That was more from the house last time. There you go, that's alright. Okay. Then we make a bed for the fish. By the way, this baking paper you come in one sheet is by far easier than trying to tear and shape. Absolutely. You can always leave the head out. You don't have to worry about the head being covered in salt. So, I just need to stuff my fish. And the other beauty of this recipe, if you don't have enough salt, you just make some more. If you have young kids, they'll love helping you with this one, because they can squeeze it, and pat it, and shape it, and if you're lucky, they'll make a little face in it for you. You're basically making a coat for the fish, so you need it all sealed in. As I said, you don't worry about the head, don't necessarily worry about the tail, provided it's sealed. Okay. One fish ready for baking. Okay, so then we put this down in an oven, about 200 degrees centigrade. I tend to put my oven at 210 because most domestic ovens are not very good at retaining heat. So you've got to have it slightly higher if you think your oven's low. This fish, just over half a kilo, should take about 20-25 minutes. Okay, so we'll pop him in the oven now. So with the fish I'm going to make a potato rösti and I'm going to steam some beans. So potato rösti. So this is about 2 potatoes which is grated and squeezed. You want to squeeze most of the moisture out of the potato because otherwise it won't go crispy on the bottom. So you squeeze the potato, you put a bit of salt and pepper, and then you have approximately 1.5 tablespoonfuls of clarified butter. Clarified butter is very simple. Put the butter, pat of butter in a pan, low heat, strain it off, and you've taken out all the fats and the milk solids. The reason you do that is what burns in butter is the milk solids. Okay, so you mix that into your potato rösti, give it a good stir around. You get nicely. And the secret of getting your rösti nice and crispy on the outside and still soft on the inside is when you put it in the pan, don't squeeze it hard, it's make nice little fluffy balls. So you get your pan hot, and then you turn it down to a medium heat. You take a handful of your rösti, nice and gentle, If you don't have one of these, buy one, they're brilliant. And then you just have your rösti in a pan. And this will take about 10 minutes. So you just keep an eye on it. Okay. So in the meantime, here I've got a steamer with water in it. I'll get that moving. Whenever you're steaming, whatever you're doing with vegetables and water, lots of salt in the water. And what you'll find is the steam from this water will season your beans. So whilst my rösti is cooking, I'm going to make a mayonnaise. Now, for a lot of people, mayonnaise is very worrying and very complicated. And unfortunately, I left my egg over there, so we're going to So I'm going to show you a blender mayonnaise. Very simple. One egg. Don't bother to separate it. All in. Pinch of sea salt. A little bit of Dijon mustard. Not too much. Stick blender. Give it a quick. It's about 200 ml of olive oil. So now we have a relatively thin mayonnaise already made. If you like it thicker, you just put in more oil. So, as a rather expensive and famous chef says, just a good dollop here and there. And that was Keith Floyd, not Jamie Oliver, by the way. So all in all, that one egg, that was about 250 mils of olive oil. You can choose then how you like it. You can make it thicker, you can make it saltier, you can add garlic if you want to make an aioli. But as you can see, that's a fairly useful olive oil. That's about 1 minute. Okay, so I've had my rösti turning for about 4 minutes. Now this is finished very nice and golden. So you want the other side to cook the same. I'm now going to put my beans on. Over a pan of steaming water, and you want your beans to steam 1–1.5 minutes, no more. The reason why no more is when you take it off the heat, because it just cook. Okay, so I'm just going to check my beans. I've got the green bean here. These are brilliant, these little fronds. Give it a squeeze. Yep, they're still al dente. Take them off the heat. That's good. I'm going to check my rösti now on the other side. That's almost done. You can see it beginning to go around. Whenever you fry anything in a butter or an oil, always drain it on kitchen paper. So if you find that retains the crispiness of your dish, but it takes away the excess oil. For dessert, I'm going to make you a chocolate mousse. I'm quite disappointed in Portugal how much sugar is used. So this chocolate mousse has two ingredients. It has 175 grams of dark chocolate. This chocolate is 95% cocoa, which means it's bitter. And I've got 135 mils of water. And that's it. And we'll make chocolate mousse from those two ingredients. Now we're just going to check our fish. So have a look inside the oven. That looks cooked. But obviously, with this method, the moment of truth is when you take the fish out. Please don't take a rolling pin. Please don't take a hammer and go smash. Very simple. Get a knife. Oh, you can't see. You just cut down the back of the salt crust. Then slide the knife in around the fish. You can start to lift it. Lift out the salt crust. Lift the fish up. Place it there. And now the advantage of cooking this on your paper is you just roll it up and drop it in the bin. But don't do it while it's hot. So I take my knife, I come down the back. Now, one of the things that you should always make sure you do with the fish is you ask the fishmonger not to take the scales off. Unfortunately, I forgot to do that. That means the skin is slightly more difficult to take off. But if you leave the scales on, the skin will peel off with the salt. I forgot that, so sorry about that. Fish. Okay. A fillet. There's a roasted potato. I'm not doing anything chefy with the presentation. 3 beans. There you have fish cooked in salt with a roasted potato.
Thanks for giving me a knife, Dad.
The rosti and the bean. Make sure the beans aren't overcooked. That's your breakfast, by the way.
No, clearly.
You can take it away. Not even fish.
Lovely, my favourite.
Right, taste. Finally, arsenic. Fine, give it to you. Chocolate mousse, 2 ingredients, 175 grams of dark chocolate, minimum 70, this one's 95 because I like a bitter mousse, and 135 mils of hot water. Method: Pour the hot water onto the chocolate to melt it. And this is all about elbow grease. You just gently stir as the chocolate melts. Keep stirring until your chocolate has melted. It's beginning to melt, as you can see. Right, beside me I have a bowl of iced water. So we're doing chemistry. So we're holding the iced water. Start to thicken it. So don't worry if you overbeat it and it goes too thick, because then you just put it in more water. Some people say you use an electric one. I suggest you only use hand whisk because you want to feel the mousse. There. Pretty close. Just have a look. There you have a bit of chocolate mousse. If you want it slightly sweeter, sea salt. That's a bit of chocolate mousse. You can whip it a bit more. Thank you for joining me on this edition of Let's Cook. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck with those recipes. Remember, cooking is simple. Thank you very much.